Welcome to the Blessed Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Raquel Tolson, and I'm here with Blessed to help you to experience being blessed that transcends a mere hashtag. Because it's not just about the things that you do or the things that you have. It's about an attitude. It's about a mindset. It's about waking up every day knowing that you are blessed. All right, we are here on WYTV7 Community Broadcasters Network, a nonprofit charitable radio broadcast with the mission to empower, encourage, and educate. If you are enjoying the Blessed Podcast, I need you to do me a favor and go to www.wytv7.org and hit that green donate button. Any little bit will help. We appreciate all donations to keep blessed on the air. And today's sponsor, as usual, is Tolson's Publishing. We have an array of books. We have nonfiction, we have fiction, we have children's books, all to inspire you, all to encourage you to think about what you are thinking about. This is April, and we are still showering you with knowledge. Today, I have a special guest, and you guys know I usually always bring on guests that people, my friends and family, and every now and then I have somebody that I have just met, and of course, once I meet them, they are my friends. So welcome my new friend, Aisha Cogburn. Let me tell you a little bit about her before I introduce you to her. She is the founder of Epiphany Institute, a professional development company that helps people connect their purpose and passion to their profession. She is an author of a couple of books, 5 Rules to Win, Being You, and On Purpose, Practical Strategies to Live Your Best Life. She's a sought after speaker, a trainer. Without further ado, she is here, Miss Aisha. Thank you for being here because we're about to shower some knowledge on the people.
Thanks so much for having me. I got a chance to listen to the show, and I absolutely love what you're doing.
Thank you. We try, it's everything is about mindset. For me, everything is about mindset. And so just even learning new things help to shape your mindset. It helps to shape your thoughts. So everything I do, I want to bring things, because sometimes we just don't know. Yep. And like you are here, you have all kind of stuff that you could share with us. But one of the things that I wanted you to come with, personal branding. And people think that branding is just about a company. But we all should be branding it because we're all on social media.
Yeah.
And, personal branding is important. So I want you to share because, people hear me talk about stuff all the time, but I'm not the expert on personal branding. You are. So you tell everybody, why is personal branding so important?
Well, let me tell you, I've been enamored with this thing called personal branding before I ever knew there was even a name for it. And It started for me back maybe 20 or so years ago, maybe longer than that. And I remember being in corporate America and looking around and seeing people who were really good at what they did. But for some reason, it seems like nobody was paying attention. They weren't getting the opportunities. They weren't getting the raises they deserved. Opportunities would come up. They were never even on the list. It was like they were invisible. And I wasn't one of those people. I actually was doing well and advancing, but I'm looking around me and saying, but what about her? This job is open over here. Are you thinking about her? And I was trying to figure out, well, what is it? And sometimes our mind can automatically go to, well, it's racism, it's sexism, it's ageism. And yeah, it could be some of those things. But one of the, we take all of that away. The thing that I found most often that kept people from really getting the opportunities that they wanted, whether that was inside of a company, whether that was entrepreneurs who were wanting to grow their businesses and have more clients, or people that want to speak and really get their message out there in front of bigger audiences. The difference between people who were getting those opportunities that they wanted and those who weren't, the common thread was personal branding. Those that took that seriously were getting what they wanted. And those that just said, you know what, I'm just going to let my work speak for itself, or I'm just going to trust God to send me the people who I'm called to work with, and I don't have any responsibility in this thing. then you know what? You end up not getting what you want. And so I started really studying it, seeing how it made a difference in my own life, and then creating frameworks to figure out how do we teach people how to take this seriously and really take that power back instead of making everything either we have or we don't have someone else's responsibility.
That's really awesome that you said that, because I never even thought about like personal branding for non-entrepreneurs, people that are in the workplace. It's, you have to brand yourself for people to see you, for people to promote you, for, just even like you think about it, if you go into a store to buy clothes, the person that you're going to go and ask to help you is the person who is looking sharp.
Mm-hmm.
The person that's dressed like you dress, I don't need your opinion because you dress like me. I'm going to the person who dress like I want to dress.
Yeah.
And I guess like I never even thought about that. That is personal branding. Wow. Like even just the way you dress or care. Another thing I was just thinking about, personal branding at church, personal branding at churches. Wow, it's branding.
Yep. I'm telling you, it runs through so much of what we do, and whether or not we're getting what we want or not. And, we'll have our nose all turned up because things aren't happening the way we want them to. But so talking about church, let's think about that. So there are a lot of times in church where you'll feel like, well, why are we always seeing these people up on the platform? How come she always gets to do the announcements? How come she's always leading the Mother's Day program and this, that, and other? Sometimes it's just tradition, it's just history. But a lot of times it's because people don't even know how talented you are. You're not on the radar. And so when it comes to managing our personal brands, it's about making sure that people know who we are, what we're capable of, what are the problems that we can solve. All of those things are important, and we don't want to leave it to chance.
Right. People need to know what we are all about.
Exactly.
And it's so funny because I think about going, just using a church. Jesus had the best brand. Like, if we still talking about Jesus's love, he loved everybody. He was such a loving person that he did that with the people that other church folk didn't love. But he showed that love because that was his brand. That was his personal brand. So it's like, if Brandon was good enough for Jesus, come on, we all need to be learning more about Brandon. So I'm so glad that you are here. Let me say, because you have already shared why it's important for everybody. But like, let's take it a step further on social media, because I know we all, especially, okay, I don't know how old you are because you look real good, but I'm in my
25-year-old son. I'll just let you know that.
Okay, so I have a 26-year-old. But even our age, because younger people, they are doing all kind of stuff, but even our age people, we are on social media like Facebook, that we are on that. Now we get getting on TikTok doing stuff, but we have to be careful because sometimes we say stuff, we post stuff, and that's not what we want our brand. I had somebody that was like posting a lot of negative. I like called her personally, like, sis, let's chill on the negativity so much, because that's not what you want everybody to think, that you always you're always posting something negative. Or like, sometimes these, people say racist stuff and it gets them fired. Mm-hmm. Or something else, and it gets them fired, or it just blows up their world. So like, that's part of branding also, right?
Absolutely. One of the things, if you think about what is a personal brand, really what is a brand, period, a brand, whether we're talking about a company, whether we're talking about yourself, branding is the recognition that there is both a head and a heart connection that people form with us. And so let's just say it comes down to, you're applying for a job. You might look real good on paper, but I interview you and there's just something about you, we just don't click. Or the opposite. All right, maybe you're missing a couple of things that I was looking for, but I don't know. I just have a good feeling about you. Mm-hmm. And so it's that head and that heart connection. And our brands are formed through every point of contact that people have with us. And so when you talk about social media, everything we post, that's a point of contact. And so every point of contact is either building or diminishing our brand. And so how you interact with people, are you keeping your promises and doing the things that you say? What are you posting on social media? Are you always negative? And I'll tell you, there are people that I have met personally and I like them, but based on some of the things that they post, I'll make that decision. All right, this is not somebody that I could have in my inner circle, because if you get upset with me, am I going to be the subject of your post next week?
Right. So it's like if you telling other people's business and all that stuff, people are like, yeah, I might not want to be, I don't want to hang with you. Oh, that just made me think about, I don't know if you heard this, but I guess Tiffany Haddish was with Beyonce and she had posted about it. And then Beyonce came out with this song, if we gonna hang out, you gotta sign an NDA.
Right.
It made me think of it. Like, yeah.
But that's the thing. It's your brand doesn't happen overnight. And this is where a lot of people miss it, because they're out trying to build this image of who they are a lot of times online. And that's not who you are. And so there's a disconnect between who you think people want you to be and who you truly are. And so when we talk about building a personal brand, we really want it to be authentic. If you're that person that is like, hey, I'm real low maintenance and I just like to be natural and be free, make that a part of your brand. Play that up instead of letting that be something that people see as a negative or as detrimental. This is who I am. Now, if that doesn't match what you're trying to do, then we got to rethink that. Maybe you need to do something else that allows you to be your authentic self. But it's got to be about being who you truly are.
I like that, because I like to say it's neither bad or good. It's just who you are. It's what you want, the foot you want to put forward. I'm not saying you got to put your best foot forward. It's you putting you forward. And it's not the best, it's the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it is who you are. But it's like we have to think about, I guess, how much of me do I really want to share? Like, do I really want to share that cussing Christian part of me? But I mean, like for me, yeah, I wouldn't care. But so every now and then I may post something that has some curse words because it gets the point across. Mm-hmm. Even if it's a meme that I didn't do, but it's like a repost, because I'm real careful about the repost too. But sometimes but I need people to see that I'm human. I don't want to be looked at this holier than thou thing. So I'm like, yeah, but it was funny to me. So yeah, I'm gonna post this. I think this is okay. But I do think about it, I'm like, do I really want people to know?
Yeah. And that comes with what we talked about again around being intentional. And so there have been times where something will happen and I want to respond in a certain way, or I say something, how you type it and then you delete it and you type it and you delete it and you type it and you delete it. And I may go through that several times before I just say, you know what, it's not worth it. Mm-hmm. So, but there are times where I'm willing to, if it's, something somebody may see as controversial, whatever that is, but this is important enough to me that I am willing to die on this hill if I need to say, this is who I am. This is how I feel. This is what I care about. And if that contradicts with who you are, then okay, that's fine. But everything isn't that. And so you got to use that discernment around who do I want to be perceived as, which is true. And everybody, if your dishes are dirty in the sink, do I need to know that? No. So it isn't about just this radical transparency. I've got to tell you everything about me. No, we don't have to do that. Nothing says that you have to share every little detail about who you are and what you do. That is, social media has people thinking that that's the case, but it is not. It is not.
And being authentic is not about just telling everything.
Exactly.
Authentic is just not putting up a false thing, because like veganism is like this big thing now. don't be posting all this stuff about vegan and then you eating, ribs back in the don't do that. That's fake. That's fake.
Right.
But I don't have to necessarily share with you what I'm eating.
Yes.
That's not, that's not part of the thing, but I'm not gonna fake it. I'm not gonna, to be hip and all that kind of stuff. That I think that yeah, but I really have an issue with people posting all this food sometimes too. That's a whole other story.
And let's kind of talk about your brand, and particularly, like, let's say if you've got a platform, there are people that use social media as their platforms, or maybe you speak or you write books. I know you got a whole publishing company, so books are a big piece of that. And the thing is, part of our brand, if you have a platform, is understanding who you're called to serve.
That's a good one.
You being your authentic self and building an authentic brand is going to resonate with the people that you're called to serve. The people that are not for you, they're not feeling it, and it's okay. And you don't have to feel like I got to do something different because these 5 people over here are not happy with it. Because the people that you're called to serve are the people who follow you and enjoy your content or whatever that is. They love it. So we got to not focus on trying to please everybody and really focusing in on the people that we're called to serve, or that, feel that sense of connection to us based on who we are.
That's so interesting, because of course this resonates a lot with me because I am a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. And so I do feel like I'm called to serve, but I think about it in friendships, because there's a lot of people that I'm friends with on Facebook that it has nothing to do with my business. It's just I go to them because I can get a laugh, or I can, I can have some empathy, or, so those people are still, so it's not, you have to have, you don't have to feel like you have this ministry to serve people. You understand that just you, regular old you, there's somebody out there that look forward to your post and you brighten their day. Exactly. Those are your people. Those people you are serving, even if you don't know that they is. So everybody, I really feel like everybody on social media is doing that. They are serving somebody and they might not even know it.
That is true. And I tell you, at least a couple of times a week, I will get, somebody is in my DMs telling me, you don't know how much I needed to hear that thing that you posted, or every time I see your post there, it just makes my day, or I learned so much from you. And I may not be thinking about that when I'm just posting that random thing. But it is when you understand who you are, then, and you show up in that authenticity is going to bless folks. And there's actually a framework that I take the clients that I work with through when they're trying to really understand how do they create an authentic personal brand. And it's called the tail of the tape. And I won't get into the depths of it, but if you want to learn more, you can reach out to me. But essentially it's, if you think about a boxing match, you've got 2 fighters, and, they do the tail of the tape segment. You're looking at their height, their weight, the circumference of their wrists, all those things. And you're going to see that they have different characteristics that are seen as benefits based on who they are. Not because they train to be that way. It's just based on who they are. And so when we figure out our tail of the tape, which is an acronym for your talents, your gifts, what are those things that you're just naturally gifted at? And it may not seem big and shiny. You may think, well, can't everybody do this? No, they can't. That's your thing. That's your gift. And it's important. And that's the thing. We got to realize our talents are important, even if they don't seem important to us because they seem so ordinary. And then we look at your abilities. What are those things that you've learned to be really good at? Perhaps it's based on your education or your training. You've developed those abilities. And then your passions. What gets you really, really excited, or what makes you really, really angry? Because that may be connected to it as well. Right. And then your experiences, and not just your career experiences, but your life experiences. What has shaped who you are, the way you see the world, and the way you relate to people. And so when you can tap into those things and build a brand around that, you get to show up and bring the best of yourself to the world and make a difference in whatever it is that you're doing. I've been in the airport and been in the bathroom, and there was a woman in that bathroom cleaning that bathroom, and she just made my day because she was standing in who she was. And we all have the ability to do that.
I love that. I love that. My son, when we go out to restaurants, especially like to diners, because I love just,
I do too. I love
I
that.
love, I don't know what it is. I like this small, kind of feel, personal. And I talk to the waitresses. It's usually women, but sometimes it's men too. But I talk to them and I just absolutely love them. And I thank them for being so good at their job, and I ask them, what's good? What should I have? And then just to be able to talk with them and, find out if we are in a small town and find out more about the town, and they can give all of it. And I let them know, like, you are so gifted in this. Like, it's huge. Of course, I'll leave a nice tip also, which is very important. But like, can you imagine like just operating in your gift and you're happy and you don't have to feel like you got to become a millionaire operating in your gift. You're just doing it and you serving all of this love and goodness to people. And I'm like, I think about that just with everything, even on social media, like you said, we can serve up that goodness to people. We can serve up that love to people on a regular basis with our social media, but it really behooves us because we can turn people off by being not our authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
And then those people miss out on our goodness and that love that we have to give.
Yeah. And again, building your brand, it is something that is built at every point of contact, and it's accumulated over time. And so just because, we all know those people that, somebody in the street will be like, oh, she's so nice, she's so sweet. And it might be like one of your family members. And you're like, what's she talking about? Are we talking about the same person? But they have that brand in one arena and they don't in another. And so we want to make sure that we're consistent. And sometimes it's not intentional, but there could be things like you may be great at what you do, but you're always late for meetings. And so this is something that is diminishing your brand because now you become known for, oh, she's good, but she's always late. She doesn't follow through on the things that she says she's going to do. That becomes a part of your brand. And so we want to make sure that we're maximizing those strengths related to our brand in minimizing those weaknesses. Doesn't mean that we don't have weaknesses, but how do we create our lives or our days or just whatever it is in a way that those things that we struggle with aren't front and center all the time.
This has been so good. I want to give you a few minutes to talk about your platform, The Purpose, because you got it right there. So we got to talk about it. Tell everybody about that.
So my heart is really in helping people that know that they are called to serve people with their voice, with their message, with their expertise, and helping them to be able to develop that personal brand that really allows them to connect with the people that they're called to serve. So there aren't things about you that aren't connecting, or you aren't just speaking in a way that, oh, I'm trying to reach everybody. And so you're not connecting with anybody. And we're not feeling insecure because you're thinking to yourself, well, I got to look like this. I got to sound like that. Look at this person. They're so much better than me. We cut through all of that and help you to really tap into who you are and what you're called to do and to build that platform based on that so that you can make a bigger impact, because that's what it's all about. Just being able to reach more people and do more of the work that we're called to do in a bigger way, if that's what we're called to.
So how can they find the platform for purpose?
So if you go to platformforpurpose.com, you can learn more. And I've got a personal brand personality quiz that helps you to even figure out some of that stuff. So, people are telling you, oh, you got to do video, you got to do video. You realize I'm terrible on video. But if you recognize that doesn't even fit my brand personality, you can stop beating yourself up because okay, maybe I'm not good at this, but I'm great at this. Let me do that instead. So we've got a personal brand quiz. We have a boot camp that's actually coming up again on April 24th, which is a half-day training experience. And then we do a year-long incubator program where I actually just get in the trenches with you and we help to, help you to show up bigger than you ever have before to serve the world with purpose. This isn't about ego. It's about your purpose.
It's about purpose. And I think that's like a really good note for us to kind of wind up on, because, understanding what our purpose is, even if it's not even if we don't have a business, we don't have a book, we don't have, this huge platform, but we still have purpose. All of us have purpose, and we need to operate in our purpose. And then we need to just we should shape our branding. Like we should protect our purpose by not doing things that would, hurt it, like you said, diminish it, because it's our purpose, because it's our purpose. For some, then I need to make sure that everything I'm saying is the truth. Because if everybody knows, oh, if Raquel said it, it must be true, because she's about educating us. But then I'm just pulling something from other people, and I haven't done my back, checking to make sure that they're fact checking it. Now I got other people out there believing something that's not even true. And it's because they believe that, oh, if Raquel said it, it's the truth, because she's about educating people.
Yep.
And like, that's huge. That's huge.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And, like they say, when you know better, you do better. And so sometimes there have been things that, areas where we've made mistakes related to our brand, just because we didn't realize how those things were affecting us and affecting the people around us. And so when we become more aware of that, the things that are negatively impacting us, and also more aware of how we can show up in a way that is more beneficial, really understanding those gifts that we have and how do we bring more of that into the world. That's all about building your personal brand and really living your personal brand.
I love it. I know people are like, what, how is this showering me now? Like, this is some serious knowledge. Like, I think everybody needs to know these kind of things, like, because it's important, because we are on social media 24/7. We all got it on our phone, and it ding, and we looking, and I mean, it's important.
And you're just walking around in the world. So even if you're not on social media, you are walking around in the world and people are interacting with you. So if you do not think your brand is having an impact, you are wrong. It doesn't not apply to you just because you're not on social media.
Right. Oh, it definitely, like you said, it's going to help you get the job. The promotion will get the job first, the promotions, and even, and I just even thinking about when you have little kids. I don't know, maybe this is just me or whatever. When we have little kids, and then you like choose the kids that your children get to be around. Maybe it was just me. My child could not be around just anybody. Going to everybody's party. He definitely wouldn't spend the night over pretty much anybody's house, but it was on a very few people. But it was about the branding of that parent that said, oh yeah, this kid can come around. Yeah, you can go over their house, because the brand that parent put forth. And like, so when you said, like, I was just thinking, like, yeah, that is the whole one. My son had a friend that lived in the hood. Mm-hmm. But his parents were golden to me. I had no problem with him spending the night there, because I knew the brand that they had, he was going to be okay. He was going to be prayed over. He was going to be taken care of. Now, they say it was some neighborhood. Go there with them. I don't care what, because I don't like your brand. I don't think you taking care of your kids for real. I think you let them do, and so like, it just really, that just hit me, like, branding is huge, and we use it to decide who we want to be around and who we don't want to be around all the time. Yeah, all the time. We only have 2 minutes, so tell everybody how to find you. Give them all your social media and everything.
So I'm on pretty much every platform. So if you're there, I'm probably there too. But if you go to AishaCogborn.com, and that's COGBORN, then that'll take you to a page where you can find out where I'm at, what's coming up, and how you can tap in and really learn more about how this applies to your life.
That's cool. And I did take the quiz, and I loved it. And it's free. You just go on there, you take the quiz, and then she give you your information. Of course, if you want to learn more, then you go and get more. But if you just wanted to kind of see what, I think is really awesome, and they can find that on I know I found it on your Instagram.
Yep. And if you go to AishaCogborn.com, the quiz is there too.
The quiz is there.
AishaCogborn.com, everything is laid out right there for you, including my social media.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for being here and showering us with your knowledge.
Oh, thank you so much. I enjoyed this conversation so much.
All right, so you guys know, I really wanted this month to shower you with knowledge. So please, please take something. It was something that you heard. Take that and apply it and use it, because knowledge is not power unless it's used. So until next week, be blessed.